Hey everyone, Jeremy here. Are you interested to know how I made this booth? Even if you're not, too bad. Let's go. Okay, so my booth, and we're going to take a trip down memory lane here. So here's how it's going to go. I'm going to tell my story. The picture's going to show up here, but I'm going to be looking down because I need to look at the pictures on the computer to keep my story on track. So let us begin, shall we? And boom, this is my first Hotbox booth that I did my voiceover recording in. And it was what got me my first paycheck from an audiobook that gave me the money to create a booth of my own. So let's begin with that. You have to start with concept. This was my first concept for a booth. And this concept was great except for one problem. They did not have this part in Korea. So back to the drawing board and redesign. Remember, you can pause this at any point to look at my pictures and take a good solid look. So this was the concept design. Okay, they did have this part. So that was good. So I made the concept design with modular sections in mind. But there was one huge problem. The place I bought the PVC pipes from, they wouldn't cut them down to certain sizes. So what they did is they sent me out back and they handed me this saw. And I hand sawed every single piece myself. That sucked. But I didn't complain too much about it because this was my baby. This was my design, my invention, my creation. So let's go on to the next picture. What you see here is that when I got all the cut pieces back home, I took a shower, and then while I'm taking a shower, I'm cleaning these PVC pipes out because they were in the backyard outside of the place I bought them from. They were dirty and full of Lord knows what when it comes to stuff. So I did that. And both sides of the shower were just a bunch of these PVC pipes. The good news was my wife was off working her tour guide stuff, so she was not home at the time. So there was that. These are all the pieces right here, all together, that would make my modular sections. My modular sections are these. Once I put it all together, and then after the modular sections went together, then I had to measure. Well, I had to measure before I cut my modular sections. I had to measure these joint areas because when you're measuring, you have to measure the outside, the inside and of course them together so you can make sure the measurements are correct when you place the modular sections together. So, okay. Then comes the space I'm sitting in right now. And then we start the construction of the frame. And I used zip ties to zip tie all of them together. Okay, then you see the floor. The flooring, of course, was this not soundproof, sound dampening material. Okay, and this right here is the roof part. This is the bottom section of it, and this is the top section of it. And then what it does is I can just slide it into the top, and that was great because these modular sections, when they're zip tied together and the top goes on, it's very, very stable. Okay, and then of course the back goes on, and I start adding the different pieces of the sound protecting blankets here. And then it starts coming together. I took the top off so you could see the inside and what it looks like. And then the top went off. The booth is pretty much made. And this is the inside of it. So that was the inside of the booth. But the booth needed furniture. So I started with a chair and a small desk. But a desk that doesn't have 4 legs, I needed something where I could slide in and have movement. It was very important to have this. Okay, finally, I had my microphone, but the microphone you're seeing in the picture was my USB microphone at the time. I didn't buy my new one yet. My Rode NT1 quite yet. Of course. Oh yeah. And I must say that the book holder works really good as a computer holder. So you see the computer there as that holder and my microphone plugged in. What I did not know back then was that I need this kind of stuff. I need this clothing to even dampen the sound protection, or better the sound protection even more. So I decided, why not put clothes in when people are in their closets? So I put the clothes in here, and it really made a difference. I didn't have the money to buy those panels, to buy those sound panels. So I decided to use clothing, and it was colorful and it was useful. Okay, and then now this picture is what you see today with everything that's inside. Now that you see that today, here comes the fun part. I'm going to send this to Jeremy outside the booth here for a reveal, and just looking at the booth as it is now, just as like a tour. So let's take a tour of the booth and send it right to Jeremy. All right, buddy, it's your turn. Okay, everybody. So here's my booth, and this is like in a very small space, but from what I told you earlier, let me explain all of this to you, okay? You realize that I got all of this clothing in here, and of course that was for the dampening sound, right? So we look at this material, and you see that the side here is these PVC pipes. Now, I realize that I have cable tie, or I have these zip ties everywhere, and they are used to keep them together and to attach this sound dampening blanket. Not soundproofing, sound dampening. It does not soundproof. And how do I get the holes in there? It's very simple. It's this. This is just your regular kind of like really tiny Phillips head screwdriver, and it's so thin that you can just pop holes right through it, and I use that, and that's really perfect. So let's continue on to here. Look on the top here. See, I actually on top, I am very secure and very, I believe in my abilities, that when I made this, I made it very sturdy because I told you about that these are all panels, and because they're panels that are zip tied together, and then this one is a very solid panel by itself, these actually support this one, and I can put luggage and stuff on top, and the luggage adds to soundproofing. So that's really, really good. Okay, now looking into my booth here, let's take a look at some of the things here. Of course, there's the Rode NT1 microphone, and you see the headphones. I popped a hole with the screwdriver. I popped a hole into here for the hook, and I put the hook in there to hold my Beyerdynamic headphones. So let's keep looking here. Ring lights. I recommend ring lights, and look, there's my webcam. I recommend ring lights because they're bright and they're not hot at all, so they don't generate heat, and that's really good. And once again, I keep on saying zip ties. I recommend these things have like MacGyver amount of uses. I put a little air freshener in here because, oh, that fell, but I will get it later. But then the air fresheners are good because, for my wife says, man smell. But look at all this clothing. This is the clothing that I have hanging here. I have a shirt on this hook here that I bent to go around the corner. I have my Eddie Bauers, all of my other shirts here, and I have zip tied a pair of pants as like a sound trap up there. I used a white towel up here because it got this color is really dark. So I want to kind of brighten things up a little bit, and I needed a little bit more sound protection. So the white towel really helps with that. Okay. Connections on my computer. My computer fell asleep. Let's wake it up again. Okay, there we go. And let's wake it up. There we go. All right. So Of course, there's my Scarlett Solo interface because that's what you have to hook the microphone up to. So there's the interface, which connects right into my LG Gram laptop. And I have this book holder right here. This is just a book holder, and you can use it for a laptop, and that's great. This one right here is a USB Type-C connector. The webcam actually plugs into here, and the webcam connection is back there, but I'm not using it right now because I need to conserve battery life because the laptop's not plugged into anything. Okay, so what's plugged into here right now is the ring light. So the ring light is adjustable, and it's got a lot of little fun adjustments. So it really does help with when I'm doing videos. So there we go. That is the tour. Oh yeah, and on the desk, I put a towel here to help with the sound protection. If you have a desk in your area, put a towel over it. It'll help with the sound protection. But I have clothing here, and I'm going to step out of my booth. Oh, before I do, here's my door. My door is like this. You see I have a hook here, and then I pull it over, and I hook it right here. And when I do, there we go. That's my door. And then on the inside here, I have a clothing, a laundry clip. So when I unclip this, it closes the door. There we go. Full door closure. All right. And that's my booth, and that's how that works. So we're going to open that up again, and we'll take care of that clipping later. Okay. And then as I come out of my booth, I have some shirts and I have some other clothing hanging on the outside to help catch the sound. Sound is the enemy when you're doing voice recording or anything like that. And you realize that the size of my booth is really small. It literally is like airplane seating, especially in like economy class. So other than that, it's actually quite comfortable, and it is cozy, especially in the wintertime. It's wonderful. So there we go. Now, let's get back to me in the booth, sitting right here on the webcam, talking. All right, Jeremy, back to you. All right, thanks, man. Okay, wasn't that fun? All right, so that's my pride and joy. This is my booth. This is what I have. I don't have the money for some expensive booth, but, you work with what you got, and you use your creativity to your best abilities, which I definitely did. So remember, everyone, here comes the mantra. It's okay to be weird. I am too. Embrace the strange, and have a great day, everyone.